Hi YouTube friends, how are you? I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Today's video is how to move an object from a distance remotely. So the first video is how to move an object, okay? So if you didn't watch that one, go back and watch it. Now this one here is going to really pertain a little bit more to the technology and setup to be able to have a very streamlined method to be able to do this. So the way that I did it was I took an old phone and then I downloaded an app called Alfred that's free, and then I put that phone on a position where I can see the little piece of tinfoil that I have there balanced on a needle, and it's through a streaming Wi-Fi camera, and it's always on. Now the awesome thing about this app that I love is it has various features. It has a motion sensor notification. So one of the things that I found that's truly amazing is that there may be instances where I get into a meditative state, or I just really think about the object, even though I'm not necessarily having the full concentrated intention to just sit there and do it, and I move it. And then sometimes I have the intention to just sit there and be able to do it, and I also do it. So it's just a matter of being in that concentrative state to be able to make that happen. And then I get the notification, and then I can watch the replay. So that's super amazing. Now when I was in Mexico I realized that I was also able to move these objects from a distance. It was a very, very, very pleasant experience, and I remember that on a particular night I said, you know what, tonight is the night that I'm going to think about it all night and see how many times I can get the trigger to notify me that the object moved. And so I had a 24-hour light on at that time, and so literally the notification came through like 9 times that night, and it felt really good every time I heard the sound for the notification. You know, it just gave me a very pleasant feeling each time. And so I kept doing it and doing it. There's times where I've gone out running and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run today, but at the same time I'm gonna focus on the object and see if I can move it. And one time where I was really intentional about it, I was able to go on a 30-minute run and move it like 4 or 5 times, and then watch the replay on that. And so that's a really cool experience. There's times where I'm driving, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna move the object while I'm driving. So obviously still paying attention to the road, not closing my eyes, and I get into that really concentrated state of that feeling of it moving and seeing it move. That emotional state that you get in when you can see yourself moving it and anticipating for that to happen. And so I've done that, and then I get it to move. I've done that multiple times. And I've done that while I'm driving. So that's a really cool method if you just want to experiment without looking at the object. But you first want to learn how to do it when you're looking at the object. Now, one of the things that I would say that I found was the easiest way for me was when I had my camera. Now the camera, also if you have an old phone and you're using Alfred, it also has a feature where you can turn the light on and off. So no matter what time of the day, you can be able to actually turn on that camera so you can do it even if it's dark out. And so the easiest way I would say is if you're actually in front of the object and you're already able to move it, and then you're looking at your camera, and then you're in the same emotional state that you have to be able to move it from your forefront vision, is basically the same type of energy and intention you put towards moving it when you're looking at it on your phone. And so you look at the object, you look at your phone, and then it gets to a point where you're just looking at your phone, and then you imagine it moving, and you can see yourself moving it, and you just start walking out further and further. That's it. It's that simple. And when you practice, you will develop the ability to be able to just open up the app and start moving it right on the spot. And it's such a great feeling. And one of the things that I've done too is usually when I'm working, I have 4 monitors. And one of those monitors is the cameras around my home, and one of those cameras is on the foils. And so that way I'm working, I'm waiting for that page to load, I turn, and right when I turn the object, and then I get right back to work, and I'm focused, I send out my emails, I make the calls, and I'm on the phone with the client. It's a long-winded story, and I turn and I look, and then it turns, and I'm having a conversation, and I'm turning it at the same time. And I would say it's just a really exciting feeling. Not because so much of the force that moves the object, or more so not because of the object moving, but the force that moves the object. That's what I meant. And so the force that moves the object is that force, like Star Wars uses the force. So that force with the things that we want to manifest in our lives, I believe is relative. So I believe it's kind of like an analogy would be, it's like having a radio and there's no stations at play, and you're like, oh, this radio is broken, it doesn't work. But what if one day you turn it and you hear a radio station, you're like, wow, this is beautiful. And if there's this radio station, there should be others. So there's the healing station, there's the remote viewing station, there's the lucid dreaming station. There's just so many different stations. And when you find out about them, I think it's a really exciting thing because it opens up new pathways and new doors in your life. So that is a video on how to move objects remotely. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a magical day. Take care.